Hey, Jimmy from Cuff and Stuff. Well, today we've got one, man, it's unreal. This is chicken leg quarters. This is a leg and a thigh together. I normally don't do these, but I'll be doing some more of these the way this turned out. Oh my goodness. The rub and the glaze that we make is so easy. It doesn't take long, and oh my goodness, is it delicious. So you're going to want to hang around. Hang tight. Okay, well, what we have here is just regular old chicken quarters. That's a leg and a thigh. It's dark meat. And honestly, this runs real close to chicken wings as being my favorite part of the chicken here. I do like some chicken wings, but when I'm doing something like this, you see what I'm doing is cutting the skin off here. This is what I like to use, not necessarily quarters, but thighs and legs. I like dark meat better than I do doing chicken breasts because it just has to me, has a better flavor, is juicier. It's definitely more forgiving when you cook it. So if you haven't cooked a lot of chicken, my advice is to start out cooking, smoking, grilling, whatever you're doing to it with dark meat, because it is definitely easier and much more forgiving to use than white meat. And let's be sure, now you see that's half the chicken butt there. I'm gonna cut him off. I don't need him. He's already been over the fence. And the last one. I'm going to cut that skin off. All right, so let me get rid of that. Let's spread these out. Now, I have, let's see, 3, 5, 8 leg quarters here. And they're probably about a pound a piece or so, so that's going to be pretty close to 8 pounds of chicken. Of course, I've got several people coming, so that won't be an extraordinarily amount. As I often do on chicken, I'm going to use Competition Bird Powder. And I know you've seen me use Uncle Steve's shake before. And let's go on and get a healthy covering on this chicken. All right, and let's turn him over and we'll get the bone side. I definitely want to get it too. And we're going to be using the pit barrel cooker for this chicken today. Oh, it's so easy to use, and so far everything I've cooked on it's turned out great. So let's let this hang out, and when it gets ready to go on the cooker, I'll show you. I'm going to put the hooks on it, I'm going to hang it, and when I do all that, I'll bring you back. Well, the only thing we got left to do to to prep this chicken is to put it on the hooks. Now see, I found that bone right there, and I'm gonna hang it right there. And I guarantee you this chicken will stay right there on that hook till we take it off. And you see, I prefer, I've seen people do it the other way, but I prefer coming through the back. And it kind of cants that chicken on the front side just a little bit. And I'm hanging the top with the leg down. So when I hang it, that leg is going to be pointing down. So let me get the rest of these on this hook. And when I take them over to the pit barrel and put them on, I'll bring you back. Okay, well, we're going to take these and hang them on the rods, and I'm going to divide them up. I have 8, so I'm going to hang 4 on each side. Now I've got some pecan wood or pecan wood, depending on where you're from, down here in the bottom. And you see it flaring up just a little bit. That's all right, because we're gonna get these on, and we're gonna put the lid back on him, and we're gonna watch him cook. Now, from experience, I know this is gonna take somewhere in the neighborhood of about an hour, but just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna take that temperature probe right there and stick it down in that piece of chicken and put the top on it. And we're gonna watch the internal temp, and we're gonna watch the temp of the chicken. And as we progress, we'll bring you back. Okay, well, let me show you something a little different. Of course, a lot of my videos have something a little different in it. This is probably gonna be one. I'm getting close to the temperature I want the chicken to be when I glaze it. So I'm gonna start making the glaze that I'm gonna do. Now, this is the spicy sweet glaze that I'm gonna put on top of these flavors that I've already introduced to the chicken. So I've got a metal bowl. I'm putting it straight on top of the pit barrel. I'm going to use the heat from it. Now that's a half a stick of butter. To that, I'm going to add about a good heaping teaspoon of honey. And this is good raw honey. A friend of mine has bees, so he helps me out from time to time with the honey. So this is good, fresh honey. And also, to add a little kick, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw in a good heaping teaspoon of cayenne pepper. All right. So let's start to mix this up first. And I want to get the butter melted. And so I'm just going to mash it up. Now, I found a shortcut. I don't have to completely make my glaze. And you use whatever you want to use to go in this. This is a good brown barbecue sauce. This is Sweet Baby Ray's that I'm using. It's originals. and that's probably about a 1/4 cup, maybe a little more than that. Now, this lid on this pit barrel is not screaming hot. I'm running this about between 265 and 275, and that's going to be just warm enough. And you see it's already, the butter's already starting to melt a little bit as I mix it in here. And this is the glaze I'm going to use. Now, the worst thing in the world you can do is go straight from the refrigerator to your meat with a glaze or barbecue sauce or whatever. It glops it on, and not only is it not as pretty, I don't think it's as good. So I'm gonna let this warm up. I'm not gonna boil it by any means. It's not gonna get that hot, but I'm gonna let this melt, mix up, and before I glaze this chicken, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, well, we've got this pretty much ready to go. Finger looking good. All right, well, let's open her up here. Now, one of the nice things I like about the pit barrel is the pit barrel comes with this little gadget right here. It just makes that so easy to take off. So we're going to take and brush this sweet and spicy sauce. Glaze this booger down now. You see what I mean about adding heat to the barbecue sauce or whatever you're using as a glaze? It doesn't just glop on. Now I want to get the back side here too. I want to get both sides. Oh, this is going to be so good. I already know. And this is the one that had our first probe in it. Oh, let's work around the probe here. I'm just going to leave that in there. Like I said, it doesn't belong to the kernel, but I like it if it's finger licking good, and that's what this is going to be. Oh my goodness. And I know I say it every time, but wish you could smell this. Backside on this one. All right, I got a bunch to do here. You've seen me glaze a few of these. Let's move on. Let me get the rest of these done. Well, let me tell you, this turned out absolutely delicious. I don't know whether you can see that or not. This is a huge bite. And one of my favorite parts of the videos, I get to try it. Sweet, spicy. I can taste the Uncle Steve shake in it. That glaze we made, perfect. Now this was really too easy to do. It's really hard to mess this up. So don't be afraid to try this. Do an indirect method if all you've got is a grill. Brown your chicken over the hot side and then move it over and do it on the other side. But this pit barrel, it makes it too easy. If you've got one, use it. Oh man, it turns out so good. Hey, thanks for hanging around. If you haven't already, hit this circle on this side, subscribe. Ring that bell so you don't miss anything. On this side, we'll have another video that we've already done. Check it out. Until next time, hang tight.